Welcome, Hayley, to the Toast Talks podcast. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Good. Excited for this one?
Oh, aye.
Why not? Bit of crack.
Oh, aye. Why not?
So, as you know, we're dedicating March to kind of a series on women in business. When I kind of started doing that, I was speaking to a few different people and kind of shocked at how many times your name actually was mentioned.
Oh my God, I'm shocked.
So, but it's quite a few people kind of said, listen, if you're doing that, you'd need to talk to Hayley Quinnell. So, I'm wondering why that's come up so often, but maybe we'll find out just why that is.
I'm wondering why myself.
So you're founder of DIGI Media Management. So you basically provide full scale social media management. So the whole way through. So from creating the content, editing it, sound, putting it all together. So you basically take the pain out of it for businesses. As kind of a snapshot. Anything I've missed there?
Not really. I think there's just a bit more to it than like going out and like taking a video and putting it together. Like in terms of like the actual marketing that you do to it, like there's certain elements like people literally do not know about at all.
Yeah.
That you put into like a photo or a video or like a campaign that you're running.
A lot of thought goes into the background of it. It's not just taking a photograph of a coffee that you.
That's it.
I have to admit I have done that myself. But anyway. But before we kind of go into Digimedia a bit more, you're originally from Derry.
Yeah.
Grew up in Derry.
Oh, right.
Born and bred.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually went to Thornhill.
I did, aye.
And how did you find growing up in Derry?
I loved growing up in Derry. Especially at Thornhill as well. Like I had a really good year group. And like absolutely everybody was friends in our year group. Loved school. Didn't love all
Good
the work.
Student.
Alright student. No, do you know what? I was alright. I just think I wasn't that interested in all the subjects that were being pushed on us.
Yeah.
Like especially at like Thornhill as well. It's very like science, maths, and I was kind of more creative.
Okay.
Like I grew up like that. I grew up going to drama, being in plays in the Millennium Forum, doing everything like that. So like from a young age, I was always kind of liked that.
The more
that
creative
sector
side
and,
of things, not the
instead
mathematics
of
and stuff.
But you know what? Like I did all right. I think I did all right. I got to uni.
Yeah, that's the thing. And actually, so you then kind of did you go straight to university or?
No, I took a year out after Thornhill, and then I went on to study film and drama at Queen's.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I remember like being in Thornhill and having to sit in the careers class, and you had to kind of work out yourself like what university you wanted to go to, and what you wanted to study. So you were like given a set time to like research all this, and I just remember like thinking and looking about, being like, I haven't got a clue what I want to do. Like I haven't got a clue. And then I remember thinking, right, I'll do something like general, like law or something like that.
The normal, the kind of
aye
core ones. Yeah.
And
the one I've ended up on.
And then I was just like, I don't even want to do that. Like, so I just kind of went with my gut and was like, right, I've grew up loving, drama, film, everything like that. So I'll go and do like a general kind of course around that. So that's when I found film and drama at Queen's. And for some reason, I just really wanted to go to Queen's.
Well, so the reason why I was asking you about there is because we have a tendency, well, maybe it's changing now, but certainly when I was growing up, the tendency was, listen, the quicker I can get out of Derry, the better. And a lot of my friends kind of moved away for university and stuff like that, but you stayed here.
Aye.
And that was an actual early decision early on that.
Do you know what? I think it was my mama that made me stay here.
Right.
At the time, I think I was like, oh, I want to go to Liverpool or it was either Liverpool or Belfast between them, and she was like, please go to Belfast.
Stay here. I can keep an eye on you.
Aye, and I think as well, because I think getting into Queen's as well, and at the time you thought it was such a great thing because it was such a great university, that's why I wanted to go there.
So you made the move all the way up the road.
All the way up the road.
And how was, so you did, as you said, you studied film and drama, and so the background was like, listen, I enjoy this, so I might as well kind of do something I enjoy rather than sticking to the safe, boring one. So you pursued that. But had you a career in mind at that point, or was it just like, listen, I enjoy it, so I'll give it a go?
I always wanted to be a producer or director,
right?
Of like films. And I remember actually going to Queen's
like
and
Spielberg level.
Oh,
really? Okay. Hey, aim for the stars.
Something up there, anyways.
Okay.
I don't know. I just really loved how films were created and how there's so much that goes onto them in terms of like camera work, editing, colours, like everything like that. But living here, like a few years ago especially, I know it's got a lot better now and there's a lot more work coming, especially in Belfast. But like when I was going on to uni, there was just nothing like that.
Yeah.
My goal was always to work for BBC.
Okay.
When I was younger, I was like, oh, I really want to work for the BBC. And actually, I'd end up working for the BBC before I started this.
Right, okay.
But there just wasn't much more else. Like, how are you meant to get an opportunity if there's none there?
Oh, that's what we kind of come to that things, like you're saying, it has changed somewhat. Like Game of Thrones can probably a big difference, and then there's films actually being made in Belfast. I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, that probably wasn't the case at all. Maybe even shorter than that. But yeah, so you did have an outcome in mind, and you worked alongside your degree, so you were kind of working part-time, studying as well. Did you go to class? Were you a good student?
I remember I absolutely hated first year, so I never went.
Okay.
Like, I had in my mind that I was going to Queen's and I was going to go and be a producer or director, and I was studying things like Greek drama, and I was like, this is not my cup of tea at all. So I went to most of the film lectures, but the drama side, I was kind of like, what am I doing here? Like, this is not for me. And I actually remember in the first year, I was like, oh, there's this course at University of Ulster. So it was on Belfast as well, and it was multimedia, and I was like, that sounds like the right course for me.
Right.
So I rang them and asked them, could I come and join their course? That I was a first year at Queen's, any chance I could change over, because the modules are similar enough. And they just said, no, you're going to have to go back and do first year again. And I just thought, I can't be bothered to go back and do first year again.
My mum will kill me. And that's funny. I actually did a degree in computer science, and kind of after about a year, I was like, this isn't for me. And then eventually I did finish it, but I kind of got to the end of it and was like, I'm leaving computers and IT. So, but one thing, like you've just touched on, it's particularly difficult, I suppose, to get a job once you finish that. So you did your course, you stuck at it, you finished, and more or less straight away you got a job with
I know, but I was extremely lucky.
Right. Okay.
Extremely lucky.
So how'd it come about?
So this came about, it was actually through Channel 4. So Channel 4 run a scheme. I think they do it. I don't know if they do it every year, but this year it was in Ireland.
Okay.
But people from like UK and everyone could apply. So they were giving away 2 places in Ireland.
Out of the whole of the UK?
Aye.
Okay.
And I got one.
Right.
So.
But you must have been pretty good then. It must have been, like, they don't. I'm sure they just don't come down a list and pick.
No,
pick you
like
out, so
you had to do an application, then you had to make a video, and then.
So what was your video on?
What was my video on? I think you had to do 2 videos. One video was like a video of you, like an interview of you answering some question about like why you wanted to work in TV and what you could bring to their company. I can't even remember what the rest of the questions were, but so there was two places going, and I was on Belfast at the time, and one of the spots was at Alleycats in Derry.
Okay.
And I was like, how handy, I'm from Derry, like,
I never thought
please
this
give
would
it
be
to
the
me. But I applied for that anyways. I can't even remember the whole application process, but there was an application, and then I went and did an interview with a couple of the senior staff at Alleycats and someone from Channel 4.
Okay.
And I remember them ringing me the day that I got it. I was just like, I'm so happy, because I would have came out of uni, and I was working in a hotel at the time.
Yeah.
So my backup was, I'll just keep working in the hotel, even though it's not what I wanted to do. But
So
I got it.
You'd
Thank God.
potentially still be in the hotel if it hadn't happened.
Probably.
Yeah. And so it must have been about a fair bit of pressure if you had to do an interview in front of kind of two pretty senior producers and somebody from Channel 4 like that. Because you're only, what, 19 here?
Aye. That's probably about 19, 20 maybe at the time.
Were you just kind of going on, I'll give it a shot and see if it happens? Or
no, I was going on like, I'm getting this.
Oh, really?
I was thinking, if I don't get this, I'll have nothing else. Like, when's the next opportunity going to come up to work on TV?
But how do you control your nerves then?
I don't know. I don't even know what I did. I think in my head at the time, I was just thinking like, you need to get this because there's nowhere else, and there wasn't.
So just as well, you got it.
Aye.
So you worked with Alleycats, the production company that give us the gem that is Keeper Country.
That's it.
That's have you ever seen a program
BBC
like
and
that?
I's favourite show.
Hey, but it's an entertainment, like it really is.
It's actually brilliant.
Oh,
it's hilarious.
It is.
And like filming that as well, like I wasn't on the first series of that, but we did like other work with him, and the crack's just 90. It's brilliant.
But you couldn't write some of the stuff that happens on it, and you know, like just it is class watching. But it was your first, like, let's say, career job out of university. So how good of an experience was that? Like, kind of straight off, was that kind of what you thought it was going to be? Was it?
Aye, it actually is, you know.
Really?
At the start, I went on there, so I started out as a researcher, and do you know what? Like, you are in the office a bit. I thought it would have been all filming, all go type of filming, but like some of the experience I got there was like people would probably still not get it, like working as an assistant producer now.
Yeah.
Like they're just like really good people to work for. And
was it quite new at that stage, or had it been around for a while?
No, they've been around for a couple of years.
Right.
But like, yeah, just some of the things that we got to do. Like I was involved in like making pitches and stuff that was going to like heads of BBC to get commissioned, and they just really involved you in everything. Okay, which is really good because you were so young as well, and you were given this responsibility. Yeah, like, it was really good.
Like maybe if you were in a bigger kind of organisation, it maybe wouldn't have happened.
No, probably wouldn't have.
And so the experience was kind of invaluable.
I think if I was in a bigger corporation, I would have just had a set job and that would have been it. Yeah. But because it was like a smaller company, you kind of just do a bit of everything, and you have to just step up and learn the skill. And
well, that's so like you were probably involved in all the process, like you're saying, a pitch, like I'm assuming that was for a program or something to be made. So I mean, if you worked in somewhere bigger, you probably didn't get any exposure to that at all. And then, you know, you do your job or whatever it is, and you don't really get to see the whole thing. But with Alleycats, you get to see the whole thing the whole way through.
Definitely. You're involved in the whole thing.
No matter what needs done, you just do it. You just do it. But it is the best way to learn. So it really, really is obviously a really good experience. But I was kind of thinking about it whenever we were doing the research for this. If you say to somebody, I work in TV, they kind of have this like, fascination with it, maybe a bit of a like, it must be so glamorous and whatever. Is it actually like that? Is it a glamorous thing? Is it thing, or is there a lot more kind of the people would kind of go, don't know, that's a lot of work?
I don't think it's one bit glamorous. It's really not. It's really not. There's nights that you're standing outside at like 1 degree in Belfast at 12 o'clock at night, filming along a river, like, do you know, and nothing. I feel like nothing on TV ever goes to plan. Right. Do you know, you're always running over, or there's always something else to do, or there's something that you didn't get, but it's definitely not glamorous.
So whenever you say you went to, or whenever you were in Queen's and you're like, I want to be a producer, how different was it from, you know, what you kind of thought whenever you were studying to actually getting into the real world of what it's like? Did you arrive there and kind of go, geez, this is not really much? No, still enjoyable, but totally different.
Totally different. I think that people have this perception on their head. Well, this is the perception I had anyways, of like working in a big studio under these big lights, you know, lights, camera, action type of thing. But in reality, it's absolutely nothing like that. Like, you're driving up and down the country at all hours, and you're out in really long days. Like, it is hard work.
Yeah, and just you have to go wherever.
Exactly. You know,
And-
wherever it's being filmed or
Yeah.
whatever location you have to be on.
Regardless of the weather.
Aye, more or less.
Pretty much. That's the thing, is that, I was kind of going, maybe it's not quite like people think it is. So,
And I'm the coldest person ever as well. So
Oh,
being outside in temperatures like that,
you need to get yourself a good coat. But you've worked there now for 3 years. Do you still enjoy it?
I think it was just over 2 years actually.
You're 3 years, 10 months, apparently, according to your LinkedIn.
That's probably wrong.
Okay.
I need to update that.
Okay.
So after Alicats, then I went to work for BBC Sport. Then
Okay.
that's not on my LinkedIn.
That's not on.
I need to get that on.
Okay, yeah, because that would have helped in my research. And how did you find that?
I really liked it.
What was that doing?
So, I got the job when COVID was still going on.
Right,
so I think I
okay.
was only in the office twice, meeting people and getting training on what to do. But it was brilliant. When I was there, the Olympics was going on. So
Right, okay.
I was one of the online producers for the Olympics.
Okay.
So it was brilliant. And it wasn't all about just, the sporting events. It was all about the Irish athletes and their stories of how they got there and them competing at the Olympics. But it was brilliant. It was really good.
And so you've worked there, and you're now assistant producer with Alicats.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still really enjoy it?
Do you know what? I do, but there was just something on me telling me that no, this isn't for you.
Really?
And I always thought it was for me. Before I went to uni, I always thought I want to be a producer, and I was on the road to being the producer. Do you know?
Yeah.
And my goal was to work for BBC.
Yeah.
Got a few credits for BBC, went and worked for BBC Sport NI, but I was just no, I need to go and do my own thing.
And so in January 21, so you this is where Digimedia came about. Was it something? So you mentioned there that you'd started with Sport NI and during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a lockdown thing that you were kind of going, I think actually social media management might be?
It was.
Sitting thinking in the house.
It happened when I got furloughed for a month.
Really?
Aye.
It took you 1 month?
It took me 1 month. Didn't even take me 1 month actually.
Okay.
I did it on the side throughout uni.
Right, okay.
I did it for the hotel that I worked in, and I put up
But where did you get the skills? What how did somebody just come to the hotel? You know what you're doing on social media, just
basically,
look after that?
That was basically it. I was putting up my own videos on my own social media. I was always into cameras, drones and GoPros, and I would follow my friends who were out surfing, or if we went and climbed a mountain or something, I would film it and make a wee video of it.
Okay.
So that's basically how it started to happen. I was just making my own videos on my own social channels, and then started doing it for the hotel. Started doing it for another person. Always in the background, still working as a receptionist. And
so you actually had full-time course,
aye,
part-time job and a side job.
Aye. And then I just kind of forgot about it then, because I was in my head, I thought I'm going to be a producer. That's it.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it at all. And then I got furloughed in January for a month.
Mm-hmm. And
I was just I've always wanted to start a business. I'm going to start it now because I've got the time to do it.
Okay.
That's where it came from.
So it was a bit of a hobby in terms of the video edit and stuff like that. So you're always kind of interested in that. But so one of the purposes of the Toast Talks podcast is to inspire people to pursue their business ideas, right? So what you've just kind of said.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose to actually take the leap in it and kind of show that actually sometimes that thing in the back of your head that you've never really acted upon actually can translate through into a business. But there's a big difference between having an idea in the back of your head and actually kind of translating it through. So you're saying in January 21 you made the decision that you were going to go for it, but then you need clients, you need to figure out what you're doing, and it actually takes confidence to kind of sit down and do it. So it's actually doing it rather than just talking about it. What was the first week like, where you kind of just went, like, because you must go, right, today I'm going to start my own business?
That's exactly what I did. That's exactly it. I always had the idea that I wanted to start my own business, and I loved media, but I had never really thought, what can I do in media? Because I can't go out and start a TV production company, let's be honest, you need a lot of money to do that, and I didn't have a lot of money. And so I made an Instagram page and a Facebook page, and I started posting just like social media tips on it at the start.
Okay.
And then I remember writing down a goal. I remember writing down exactly what I was going to do. And I wanted 3 clients by 3 months' time.
Okay.
And I think within 2 weeks I had 3 clients. And I just was like, this is going to work. That was it.
But so you literally sat down one day and you're like, right, my plan for today is open up social media accounts. I'll start to do that, and then that's the way I'll start attracting clients.
I was like looking at different niches of who I would want to work with.
Okay.
So I remember looking at like property and who else did, like hotels and restaurants, because I'd done that before, and like bars, like anything to do with hospitality. I thought I'll give this a go and I'll try ring companies in Derry.
You rang them?
I rang them.
You cold called? Fair play. That's
But it worked.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, geez, that takes some confidence to do that.
No, I was really nervous doing it.
What was the first call like?
I think I stuttered probably about 10 times.
But you knew what you were selling, though.
I did know what I was selling, but I'd only done it for like 2 people before.
Okay.
And who I'd never worked in this niche before. Like, I'd never worked in property. Or like, like a bar or whatever. So I was just faking it until I got something from it.
But then obviously you have to deliver then.
Oh,
so, I mean, I'm assuming there's a fair amount of learning that goes on afterwards, but you kind of, so you rang them up and said, listen, I can give you these services and whatever. So how did you take it from there then?
Do you know what? I rang people up and told them what I did, sent them an email, and I did have things on my page, like even like my website, made my website and put like videos that I'd done in the past. So that they had something to look at, because they weren't just gonna go,
yeah, okay,
I'll just hire you, no bother.
Yeah.
And I did have those 2 accounts where I could show, look, I've grown these 2 accounts over time. This is some of the content that I've made from it. But I just, do you know what? I think just in that time, I was just like, if I don't do something now, if I don't actually make these calls, I'll not have anything else.
Yeah.
So I'll have a full-time job to go back to, but I don't want to do that.
But so like you were kind of going, like, it doesn't matter, I'll just do whatever it takes. More
or less. I was thinking, how else are they going to know about me if I've just started?
But did you plan, like you're saying, so you set some goals and stuff like that, which the manifestation even of that, and to actually kind of go, right, this is what I want in 3 months' time, and then as you said, it happened within 2 weeks. But was there a lot more planning than you're making out, in terms of, like you said, you identified your niches and your strategies and stuff like that? So did you sit down and kind of go, right, what do I need? How do I actually go about it? And then you actually started doing it? Or was it kind of like, I'll give this a go and see how it happens, I'll just try ringing people and see what happens?
No, I did sit down and plan, like, what I could offer you, like different packages, like what I'm actually going to do for you, how I'm going to do it. I would just tell them that, when I was on the phone to them, or after, when I sent them an email over. No, I did have more of a plan, but it was kind of put together in like a couple of hours, because I was just like
excited.
I just really wanted to make it happen.
Okay. No, that's to be honest, actually, out of kind of most people that I've interviewed so far, a lot of them kind of start that way, and they kind of go, it's a bit more of an organic growth than you sit down and kind of go, right, I want to do this, and then I'll start.
Yeah.
A lot kind of seem to start and then kind of
And then put
grow
it together.
as it goes along. So it did start as a side business somewhat, and now has translated through. It's more or less full time now, is it?
Mm-hmm. Full time now.
Full-time
It did start as a side business. That's what I always kind of had in my head at that time as well. In January, I was thinking I could do this even on the side just to make money.
Okay.
And I think just as the months were going on, like, and I was like growing my own social media and posting out more tips and, working for more people. My name got out there a bit more. And then more people just started knowing about me. My portfolio got a bit better. And more people were asking me to come and help them.
Okay.
So that was kind of towards summer then, where that's when I was working for BBC Sport.
That's not really that long, really.
No, and that's not me. Like, I wasn't properly trying to go for it in January. Like, I actually had the idea that I'll do this on the side until I can do it full time, but I did want to do it full time.
Okay, so sorry, the question that I was going to get to is exactly that. So at the start, you were kind of going, listen, I'll start this on the side, but this is eventually what I want to do. I do want to start my own business doing this. And that was the intent in January.
Aye.
Okay. So from there, you were with Enterprise Northwest, weren't you?
I think so.
I think so. On Skeg?
No, I
Everton?
wasn't. No.
No?
No.
Which one?
I wasn't on there.
Were you not?
No, I've only recently gone to that.
Oh, is this what you got?
The startup award?
Yeah.
Aye. So
Okay.
I won that, and then they put me through the scheme.
Okay.
There.
So, right, you didn't do any business plan prior to that?
No.
Okay. Right, okay. Right, okay. So I had that the wrong way about then.
Oh, really?
Okay, I thought that you basically started this on your own, and then did you enter yourself in the competition?
Aye.
Okay. Jeez. Right, okay. That's even better. So I'll come to that then. So you're going just over 12 months.
Aye.
Just over. And a business obviously can be very up and down and things like that. And as you said, there's probably a lot of different learning experiences. So like cold calling, I'm sure you've developed your marketing skills along the way, and maybe that's not the way you do it anymore. But can you give us a flavour of some things that you learned from as you went along? Some things where you just kind of went, oh my God, I can't believe that's just happened, where it's just gone so badly wrong, and things like that. Is there anything across the 12 months where you just go, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to keep going at this?
I actually think the cold calling, because you would ring people, like you would ring different companies and obviously speak to the owner and tell them about what you have to offer them. And some people would just be like, they would just shut you down and say, don't want it. Like they wouldn't even give you the opportunity to speak about it.
Yeah.
And it would really knock your confidence. But, not everyone's going to go on the gut.
Yeah.
Like at the time I was thinking, oh, I'm never ringing anyone again. Or I'm never sending an email again because they didn't want it. But like there's people out there who do want it, and you're offering them a service that's going to help them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you're helping them. So why would you feel bad about even offering to help them?
But as you said, it is a knock to the confidence. So how did you deal with that? Like how do you kind of go, you come off call, somebody's maybe not rude, but they're kind of like, listen, I don't have time for this, not interested. And you as I think kind of naturally would sit there and go, oh my God, that's awful. How do you lift your confidence again to go for the next call?
I just used to think that I would have just took a break and been like, there are people out there who do want this, so don't let one person knock you back just because they don't want it.
It must be hard at the time though.
It was, but I probably wouldn't have cold called them for a while and would have just sent a few emails until the confidence came back up.
And which did you find was better?
Cold calling.
Was it?
It was. I just thought I just think when you ring someone, it's just a bit more personal, and you can get yourself across a bit better than an email that they're probably getting a good few marketing emails of people trying to sell them stuff every day. But if you ring them, you find out who they are, find out a bit about their business. What I used to do is I used to go through their social media and pick out things that they were doing wrong and then tell them on the phone. And they used to actually really like it. They used to think, you're right, you know, like we are doing that wrong. So what can we do?
You would actually research the person. It's not like you rang them up and just went, here.
Oh, no. I researched them. I knew who I wanted to speak to, but about their business, and basically how I could improve their social media.
Okay. But that's kind of quite... to actually point out the mistakes on the very first call. And I know people can appreciate and can see it, but they could have gone wrong actually, where people think, what are you telling me that for? Our social media is fine. Nothing wrong with it. I've put a lot of work into that. But they took it okay. And
most people actually didn't put a lot of work into it. Do you know?
Okay.
Some of the people that I was calling, like, they hadn't posted in like 3 months.
Right, okay.
But they had stuff on their website that could have been up on their social channels and things like that. So that's like one of the points that I would make, but I would say it in like a nice way.
Okay, so
that
it wasn't that you were kind of
this
going,
is
your
awful.
strategy's completely wrong. You know, you're kind of going, listen, that actually might help improve it, and so that they could just see the value in what you could add. Okay. So just before we come to the competition and things like that, with Digimedia, there must have been a lot to learn at the start. So you have a website, you had set up your website and things like that. You were obviously pretty au fait with social media and stuff like that, but to actually set out your product offerings, make sure that the financials were right, setting up the company, you know, there's a whole raft of things that go into starting up a business. How did you manage to learn it all so quickly? So you're saying that you started in January and by June you were doing kind of pretty well. So you had to do quite a bit of work between January and June. How did you do it all and learn so quickly and not make many mistakes? I
actually don't even know. I don't know. I think I just put a good lot of time on it. I made sure that everything was done to a decent standard, and I wasn't just rushing things and going, there you go, that's up now. That's that sorted.
Is it all consuming? In that it's every time, like as soon as you wake up, you're kind of going, right, I need to do this today, I need to do that.
Definitely.
And then until you go to bed, like you're literally thinking
about it.
Right, I could do this differently, or for that client I need to do this and whatever. So you're more or less all the waking hours anyway, thinking about it.
100%.
How much of your time is towards kind of the business side and how much of it is on the kind of creative side?
See, at the minute, nothing really is towards the business side because I've just got so busy in the last couple of months. Like, it's all content creation for clients. And I actually have a mentor through that program.
Okay.
Who I was speaking with this morning, and we kind of came to the conclusion that like I need to be making time for the business side. That's what we're working on this week.
Okay, so that's one of the learning things that you need to do, is that you're gonna have to find a way to balance the content with the actual business side.
Definitely.
Whenever you say the business side, you don't do anything on it. Do you mean literally you do very little because everything else is priority?
Aye.
Really?
And literally, like, every hour that I'm working at the minute is for my clients.
Okay.
None of it's for myself. But like, you're never going to grow a business if you just stay at that level.
Yeah.
So, like, I've noticed that myself over the past month or so, but it's just finding that balance, and you can't really find that balance as well if you're a one-woman show.
Yeah.
So the next step's probably.
So you have a few decisions to make in the future. So we'll come on to that. So just a question before we move on to the competition. There's one client that you could sign anywhere in the Northwest. Who would it be?
Can it be anywhere in the world?
Well, okay, we can go with the word. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
I would love to work for F1.
Really?
Aye.
Do their social media?
Aye, that would be the dream.
Okay. That'd be quite a big account.
Oh, it would.
But just, do you think that, are you interested in F1 or just,
Aye.
yeah? Okay.
I really like it, and I just think that there's so much you can do with it.
Yeah.
And it's just really exciting.
Huge business
Mhm.
too. So, as we said, sorry, we'll come on to the competition now, because we're straying into it anyway. As we said, January last year you
Mhm.
started, and you entered yourself in a competition. How did you find that out, by the way?
I found it on Facebook.
Okay.
I think they ran an ad for it. And the ad came up, and I seen it, and I just thought, I might apply for that.
Kind of getting a general trend that you just kind of go, do you know what? I might give that a go and see how it gets on. So it was the startup launchpad initiative, and it was run by Derry and Strabane Council with the Chamber and Inner City Trust.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find that experience?
Really good, but again, quite nerve-wracking. Part of that process again was an application form, and then if you got through, the next stage was doing a Dragon's Den style pitch in front of a panel of judges.
Okay.
So I think there was about 5 judges on the board who you have to present your...
Are these business people or?
Aye.
Right, okay.
So I think it's a mixture actually of business owners and, well, they're all business owners anyways in the chamber.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
aye, 5 of them.
So you had to pitch to them.
You had to make a presentation and then basically just telling them all about your business and, you know, what you were bringing to the north, what you were bringing in, what could you do that would make a difference, how's your business going to work, more or less.
How much work did you put into the presentation?
Do you know what? I actually think I did put on a night or two. Like a full night.
Like all night?
Aye. I did make it look good.
You did?
Mm.
And then how was your pitch?
I remember at the start of it, I was that nervous that there was like a quiver in my throat.
Okay.
So it was like a quick stutter at the start, and then I was just told myself to wise up, and I was grand.
So you must be pretty good at controlling your nerves then.
Not at the start of something, but I think then once I get past that initial, this is not bad, then I'm alright.
There's a lot of people who be nervous just the whole way through.
I'd say the drama does help as well.
You've obviously been doing that from a young age, so a lot of plays and stuff in school.
Aye.
Love getting on stage.
I used to.
Well, rather you than me. That's my idea of a nightmare. I can't understand how people kind of go, I'd love to be a singer. Like, I would hate to be a singer.
Really?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand up in front of a stage. No way. I can do presentations and stuff like that. I don't mind that, but no.
Sure, what's the difference?
Well, I'm not a good singer for a start, but that's a by the by. Well, maybe if it was a good singer, it might be different, all right. But in terms of the actual competition itself, so it was the application, but just one pitch. That was it.
An application and one pitch, yeah.
But they asked you, they could ask you questions afterwards.
Oh, aye.
And how did you handle the questions?
I can't even remember what they were, but I think one of the questions was, this is the main question that I remember. It was what could you bring to Derry through your business? How are you going to help our economy?
Okay.
And I remember replying something like, you know, my business is to help other businesses grow. So investing in me, well, you'll actually be investing in other businesses as well.
That's a
not
very
just
good
one.
answer. How, did you come up with that in the spot?
I think so, aye.
So you didn't know that question was coming?
No.
Okay. No, it is, and I can see what you mean. But it is a very good answer to do on the spot. So fair play. That's excellent. So you did end up winning, and I'm not, with the answer you've just given, I'm not surprised. But that was 11 months in.
Mm-hmm.
You ended up winning that. From your original startup where you kind of had a month off and thought, I need to do something else with my time.
Mm-hmm.
But the prize was actually amazing in terms of a startup.
Mm-hmm.
So you got premises, a grant for IT equipment, the business mentoring, and business planning.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a support has that been?
It's been really good, I think especially having a mentor. I think if anyone's looking to start up a business, they should definitely speak to one of the startup programs and try and get someone who has done something similar to what they've done before
Okay.
in the same type of area as well. I think that really helped me.
Okay.
My mentor worked in communications and PR, and they are quite similar
Okay.
to what I was doing. So she's been really helpful, and it's just made me a lot more confident
Okay.
in what I'm actually doing. I think before, like I even won that prize, I was like, oh, is this even a good idea? Is this even going that far? But I think having someone realize this is a really good idea, she's the winner.
Yeah.
That gave me the confidence then they be like, right, this is actually going to do well.
Do they hold you accountable? Like, kind of, they make sure that you're like, like you were saying about the business side. So they kind of go, listen, you can't really continue like that. So yes, the creative side is one thing, but you also need to focus on that. Like, if you were on your own, do you think that you would just continue on and go, listen, I need to focus on my business because that's the priority, and forget about the business side? So do they kind of go, listen, you might need to adjust that balance?
I think my mentor definitely does.
Okay.
She just tells you how it is.
Okay. Sometimes not a bad thing.
Aye, definitely not a bad thing, because I wouldn't do it otherwise. I'd still be probably going off in the direction I was going.
Yeah.
And trying to balance everything. Whereas when you're accountable to someone, they're like, don't be doing that, and you just listen.
Yeah. But it can be hard to hear that if you're if you're on a business. So although it's a helpful thing, is it a bit kind of hard to kind of go, I thought I was doing great.
Aye.
So from other people's point of view, do they have to be ready for kind of people to kind of go at times, listen, yes, it's good, but you need to do a bit more, especially if you're doing a whole load of hours to try and make it work, and then somebody's coming along going, yeah, but you're forgetting about this bit here.
Aye.
So how do you manage that?
I think if you're starting a business, you should definitely listen to people who have the experience in it. Do they've gone through all this, and they can see where you're going wrong and you can't, because it's your first time doing it. So that's the way I actually kind of looked at it. She's given me advice, she's done this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it on board. And I think after you get past that, sure, I'm doing all right. If you actually sit and listen to her, you'll realise, no, you can't keep going down that route, or you're just going to burn yourself out.
But that's, the thing about, there's having confidence in yourself, but also knowing that kind of, listen, this person actually knows kind of a bit more than me, or a better. There's some people can't get out of their own way sometimes and kind of go, I'm brilliant at what I do, I don't need any help, so you'd be very much in the take advice. If somebody's telling you something, listen.
Aye.
And kind of act upon it.
Oh, definitely. I think, why not? They know what they're talking about.
And how did you find the business plan?
I'm still actually doing it at the minute.
Okay.
So it's not finished yet. It will be finished hopefully by the end of this week.
Okay. So you've a couple of late nights to put on, do you?
Aye. Well, I'm getting help putting it together. So that'll be good to have something set in stone to work towards as well. Because I feel like when you don't actually have something written down and you just keep going, that could lead to another burnout, and you're like, where is this actually going?
Do you think it's put more structure in the business?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think even being part of the programs and having to sit down with someone for a couple of hours has really worked.
Okay.
Because it lets you like know exactly what you're doing and exactly what you're going to do a year or two down the line.
So with what you do, how closely do you watch your own analytics? I know you're probably extremely good at your at insights and stuff for other businesses and things like that, but how closely do you watch your business performance?
Not enough recently. Definitely not, just because I haven't had the time to make my own content
and
market myself. That's really bad.
I mean, but it's like a natural growing pain. It tends to be that you kind of get one, and then you kind of have to bring yourself back and kind of go, right, how do I actually refocus on the business and do that side of it. But on the financial side, do you look at the financials?
No, because I'm rubbish at it.
Not at all.
Okay, I do a wee bit, but like not that much. Like I would rather just put all my attention on getting clients, doing well for the clients.
Yeah.
And keeping them.
And then the rest will follow. Everything else will be all right.
I'd rather pay someone else to do that.
Okay. That's fine.
Because if I did it, there'd be loads of mistakes.
But that's some people kind of go, oh no, I'll manage myself, and I don't need any help. I know what I'm doing, and that can kind of sometimes lead to problems. But so if we go on a bit from there, where does Digimedia go from here?
Hopefully it's just going to expand and grow in the next year.
So you wrote down goals at the start of the process. Have you updated them?
I haven't.
Are you going to?
Yeah. Maybe tonight.
So if I was to ask you where you see it in 10 years' time, do you know? You can be as ambitious as you want.
I'd like to just keep doing what I'm doing, but on a bigger scale.
Okay.
Like at the minute, I'm still a startup, and I'm finding my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And although I'm doing all right, there's loads of room for improvement. I think I'd like to be working with a bigger team, and be working with bigger clients, and in industries that I really like working on.
Okay. Just keep it on the interesting side, and then you'll kind of do the creative stuff, and then maybe have another team that assist you in the other fronts, like the business development side for your business.
Mm-hmm.
So you would stay content.
But it would bring on other people as well that would do that.
Okay, right. So build out your content team as well.
Aye.
Very good.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. We'll come back in 10 years' time, see what's happened. So we've covered that Digimedia and the ups and downs. But like I said at the start, this is kind of we wanted to do a series in March because of International Women's Day to celebrate kind of women in business. As a woman in business, do you think that there's enough support for getting women into business, or could it be better, or how did you find it?
I think there could be more support, like just in general. I don't think in Derry as well there's that much. Okay. Like I know there's the Go For It program and things like that, but there's not much else. Like I wouldn't have known about that. I think that startup award is only new as well. Yeah. So do you know what else really is there?
Do you think so? Say you've obviously, because you won the prize, you've had quite a bit of support, and like you're saying, the mentorship's been excellent. So say, for instance, if business in general were to get mentorships, do you think it would kind of make the process of setting up your own business that bit easier?
Oh, definitely.
And it's not even so much the financial side; it would be the advice side that you would think is the thing.
Like I think as well, because like I already kind of knew how to make websites, and I already had knowledge in social media, so it was easy enough for me to do. Mm-hmm. But like for other people who have an idea and haven't got a clue of how to do websites, or how to set up an email address, or a domain or anything like that, where do they go to? Like, where do they start? Yeah. And there's loads of people out there who don't know.
Yeah. And it's more around the advice side that you think could do it, and from
probably advice and funding. I think it's really hard to start a business if you've got no money or like no funding at all. Yeah. And it was easy enough for me because I didn't really need anything to start up that much except for my laptop and my camera that I already had. Yeah. Do you know, a couple of pounds on my phone. And a phone.
Use your phone to call,
and then,
call people.
And then like, do you know, like I wasn't paying for an office or paying for any products or storage or anything like that, Yeah. So like my business was pretty safe starting up. Because if something happened, I wasn't really out that much.
Yeah.
But for other people, they're out. They could be out thousands of pounds, and what happens then?
Yeah. No, it is. It depends on what you're starting on as to how much startup you need and stuff like that. But based on your business journey and your experience, do you think that there's anything that could be done to attract more women in particular to business, or do you think it's it doesn't really make a difference whether it's male or female to business? It's just
Um, well, I think there's definitely more male business owners here than female.
Yeah.
As part of that competition I won, you get a spot on like the Derry Chamber, so it's all business owners, in Derry and Strabane, and we would do like different events where like everyone comes together, so it's really good for networking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what I realized is that number one, I was the youngest, and
Yeah.
I'm 26, so I was like, there's no girls and there's no young girls. Do you know? I don't think there was any other 20, 60, 30-year-old there. I probably think I was the youngest.
Yeah.
And most of them were men as well.
So, kind of older males were pretty much the demographic.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that can be done to solve that? Like, from a really basic thing, like, in schools and things like that, would they kind of teach, like, you studied film and drama. Did anybody at careers ever kind of say, you could actually start your own business?
I think it might be moving towards that way now, but back when I was at school, it was very educational focused. You went to uni after you finished 6th year, and that was kind of it. And if you didn't go, it was like it just wasn't heard of, really.
Yeah.
So I think that is changing now a lot. I think less people are going to uni, and I think it's the right thing to do, to be honest, because I actually don't think my degree helped me at all.
Yeah.
Well, it let me into doing
Yeah.
TV, but like there's loads of people on TV who don't have a degree, and I didn't actually know about that when I was at school. So I think that if people were taught that in school, that uni's not the only option. You don't have to go if you don't want to, because there's people who don't want to go.
Yeah.
And they feel like they have to go, then it might make a difference.
If you had known about the Go For It program and the startup and things like that, do you think it would have kind of maybe led you to that first? Because you're saying it was always something that you'd wanted to do. If you say in school they had to come in and kind of gone, do you know what, you can actually start your own business, and here's the support that you would have and all that. Would you maybe started it sooner, do you think?
I probably would have.
So it's just interesting to see that is kind of one of the things I've noticed in the chamber as well, and not in the chamber, but in kind of business in general, is that it is predominantly male. And I just kind of go, that's a bit strange as to why that is.
I know.
Even from our own perspective.
Why do you think that is?
No, you interview me. I actually, genuinely, I don't know if it's to do with the kind of the confidence side or the ambition or I'm not sure what it is, why it is it is a much higher percentage of men. Maybe it's support for women to kind of go, you can actually break into this, or it's a historic thing. I don't know, but I definitely think that we're missing something from it, because there's particular times where I've sat in meetings and we were making a decision, and that was a decision that was going to be made, and then there was just so happened, there were females there, and so one kind of commented at one stage and went, but if you do that, no female's going to apply because they won't be able to, fit the hours, or they won't be able to do something. And immediately we would have lost 50% of customers, because we didn't see it. Like, as fellas, we just didn't think like that. So that's part of the reason why I was kind of going, there's definitely something being missed by more women not running businesses because you'll just miss entire sections of. But like even from something you do, like in terms of content, there'll be certain content that male will kind of relate to, and there'll be certain content that female. If a male is creating the content all the time, it's going to be all male bias. Like it's unavoidable. It's just the natural way of doing it. So I think that's where there needs to be a rebalance to the percentage on in terms of that, because we're just going to miss a whole load of different things, and it's not good for the companies either. To be all male oriented.
I think there is something, especially in Derry, with younger girls being afraid to do anything because of the judgment.
Yeah.
Especially in Derry, if you compare it to like Belfast, other bigger cities, it's kind of that small town mentality of what are people going to think of me?
Jeez, I never thought of it like that.
That's definitely a factor.
The judgment.
Especially for younger girls. I feel like as you get a wee bit older, and maybe that's why it's taken me to now to even start this, you start to care less about what people think. But see, when you're younger, I think especially now with everything going on, like TikTok, Instagram, there's so many filters and stuff like that younger wee girls will be afraid to do it because they don't have the confidence to do it.
No, I was kind of always wondering what it was or what was contributing to it. But I've never thought of it as being the judgment side. And that's, I could see that being the thing, all right. We do have to get over that.
I know.
So turning to got very serious. But maybe of an easier question. If you could have one celebrity mentor, who would it be?
Stephen Bartlett.
Oh, really?
I'm going to see him next Monday night in Dublin.
Really?
Aye.
I know, he's absolutely excellent. Like,
he's brilliant.
Would that be a dream job?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think everything that he does is just really well put together.
He does. Like, it seems to put a lot of work into things. It's not to say that he kind of starts something and half-heartedly does it. Everything he seems to do does. Like the actual shows. Whenever I heard he was doing shows, I was kind of going, "How's that going to translate through to?" I mean, how do you do that? And they look absolutely incredible.
I know.
So, how did you manage to get tired?
I just bought them as soon as they came out. Had the alarm set.
Very good. No, that'd be excellent, I would say. You're going to have to stop him outside and say, "Would you be my mentor, please?"
Oh, I know.
So what would your advice be to move on slightly back, but on the same track? What would your advice be to a young woman starting out on their entrepreneurial journey? What would your...
I think plan out what you're going to do and just go for it.
Yeah. Take advice along the way.
Create opportunities for yourself. Because if you don't, it'll never happen.
And don't be afraid to...
and that's the main thing. Don't be afraid to go out and create opportunities, because if you don't, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yep. So turning to the Northwest more generally, you obviously grew up here, educated here, and now you've started your own business. And as we said, well, certainly in my time, people left and tended to go to university and never come back. Do you think the opportunities are increasing across the Northwest? Like, you would probably see it much more than other people because you work so closely with businesses. Do you think there's a lot more kind of coming?
I think there is, I think it's on the rise anyways. Like, people have gone out and employed me on a new business. So it's kind of an example of it, that anyone else can kind of do it too, But I definitely think.
But you'd work with a lot of businesses that, maybe start kind of in a similar way to yourself, like the likes of Claire Feeney that we were talking about before. Maybe she would have been part of a brokerage or something, not on her own at one particular stage. So from that, I just think it's really, really good that people are kind of getting the opportunity to work for themselves and do that sort of thing. So I hope that it's getting better, and it doesn't.
I think it depends on a lot of factors,
Such as?
your idea, your location,
Mm-hmm.
especially, is it actually going to work? Are you actually going to make money from it?
Yeah.
I think you have to work all that out before you completely go for it.
Would you? So the way you actually planned it and went into the niche and stuff like that, and made sure, and you had a kind of an idea of the market, let's say, beforehand. So you would advise somebody who's starting out, just don't go for anything. Just make sure you do your research first of all.
Aye.
Make sure it's right before you jump into something that
it's not going to work, and then you end up in loads of debt.
Yeah, well, and that's but it also, and there's obviously the financial side, but then your confidence as well to kind of start something else after that. You're kind of going, oh, listen, that didn't work, and so probably good advice to make sure you do your research first of all. We covered that one. Right, very, very. I'm kind of getting into your secret here.
Okay.
You get to see a lot of companies and their social media policies, and basically you come in to a certain extent and change their strategy a lot. What's the most common mistake you see businesses making?
Not keeping up to date with new things that are going on in marketing.
Such as what?
They literally change all the time. Change every couple of months. I always talk about Instagram Reels on my own Instagram page, but there's companies out there who aren't utilising new features which could help them grow, and they're just not doing it because they don't know about it probably.
And they just don't change. So is it kind of, this is what they used to do, so they always do that, and they never kind of move with the times? Is that
like Instagram? The head of Instagram came out recently and said that Instagram's no longer a photo sharing app. You know how Instagram used to just be for photos, but people don't know about that because they're not always looking to see what the head of Instagram's saying. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So, and they think we'll just keep posting photos because it's doing all right, but they could be doing a lot better by posting videos or using some of the other new features.
Well, just for instance, we didn't use Reels, but it was actually Claire's that I looked at and kind of went, how did one? I think one has 500,000. Is it?
Aye.
So it just shows you the power of Reels versus photos, and then, but you say that changes all the time, so you need to kind of stay up to date with how that is, or kind of outsource that to somebody who can stay up to date with all that, because it is a full-time job. I mean, essentially you need to know what you're doing, and it does change so frequently. You can't just kind of go, right, I'll get the app on my phone and that's it.
And there's loads of hacks behind that as well. Do you know, there's loads of things that you should be doing on side a reel that will make you go more viral.
Okay.
That people don't know about too, because do you know why would they know about it?
Well, it's because you have to spend your time research that to
people don't have the time.
And they're kind of more consumed with the thing, which is where your offering comes in to kind of take that weight off and get you to do it on their behalf. So what's the most common social media myth that you've come across?
Facebook ads don't work.
That's a myth, or they do work, or they don't work?
They don't work.
They don't work at all?
This is more of a recent thing.
Okay.
That people are saying Facebook ads don't work at all. They do. You're just not doing them right.
You're just doing it wrong.
Aye.
So they do actually work?
They do work.
Yeah.
I think it's been like the past month or so, because things change all the time. People have been saying that, they don't work. But they do work.
And they'll bring in clients if you do it right.
Aye. They'll bring you in business. Yeah. Whatever your goal is to get.
Yeah.
It's just putting the money towards it and figuring them out of what they want.
Just fit your business. Okay, so if you have to give 3, you can only give 3 now.
Right.
You have to give 3 social media tips for a business. What are your 3?
See, these are new trends that have came on recently too.
Okay.
Upload your Instagram reels to your Facebook, because Instagram and Facebook are now working together where you can upload your reels.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Do
Very
that.
good. Didn't know that.
I spoke about this yesterday on my Instagram story. I work with this client and they have 60,000 likes on their Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And I made them a reel, uploaded the reel, and they got 300,000 views on their video. So that new feature, because it's a new feature as well, they're pushing stuff to the top of the algorithm.
Right.
That's one. Number 2 would be to use Instagram Reels.
Okay.
See, it depends on your business as well, what platforms you should be on. But use Instagram Reels or any form of video marketing.
Okay.
Do
you have one left?
One left. Use trending sounds.
Trending sound? Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So there's sounds that will trend every couple of weeks.
This is the little arrow that's beside it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So try and use them.
Because they'll drive more.
They'll help you get more reach.
Excellent. That's good 3. 2 I didn't know about. One I didn't know about the viral sound, I think, but
How'd you know about that?
I think I watched YouTube for that one.
Oh, did you?
I think so. Not sure. What's your take on TikTok?
Love it. The
Do
most
you?
addictive app ever. You just go down that rabbit hole and you never come back up.
Well, no, in a personal sense, from a business section, do you think it's worth being on? Is it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like video marketing is like the number one type of marketing of what you should be doing, like in the past year.
Okay.
And 2022 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And one, like TikTok is designed to reach people who don't know about you.
Okay.
So if you're looking to get new customers or new clients or, increase your brand awareness, why would you not be on TikTok?
Do you want me to honestly answer you that?
Aye.
I thought TikTok's for kids.
No, it's not all for kids.
I don't have it.
I do.
You're a lot younger than me. It's I honestly just kind of thought it was kind of like a similar thing to
I think there's
Snapchat
that
or
perception though.
Yeah.
That TikTok is just for children, but it's not. Like I think it would be targeted at a younger demographic, like probably 30 and below.
Mm-hmm.
But there is older people on it too. Just depending on your audience again, and what you're selling and what your business is.
But you see, I wouldn't have thought the businesses would be on it. That's where I was kind of going. Well, it's only for kids, really. It's not.
Well, say you're a clothing brand,
mm-hmm.
and you want to advertise your clothing, and you're scrolling through TikTok, and you see a dress that you really like, and it's from the business that's uploaded it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're probably gonna go and buy it because you've seen it there. Where else would you see it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you know if you don't know about the brand,
mm-hmm.
you don't know its name to go and Google it?
Does it work the same way as Instagram in terms of demographics and all that sort of stuff?
More or less, aye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy enough to use.
Aye, and same thing again with like different trends every couple of weeks. There's another jump on trends, not just trend sounds.
Hold on, you're gonna have to explain what trends are to me. I don't understand. Is this on TikTok?
This is on TikTok.
I don't even have the app. I don't even know what it is.
Well, there's like certain themes that'll trend every week or every couple of weeks on TikTok.
Okay.
Like one this week is the F1 race.
Oh, okay.
It's called Race Day.
All right.
So that's a new trend where people are coming on and talking about the race at the weekend and making videos about it and what they think about other competitors and things like that.
Sounds like Twitter.
It's better than Twitter.
No, but it's a similar thing to the way that you trend on Twitter.
Oh, aye. It's a similar thing kind of across all of them. But there's gonna be different trends.
Okay. Very good. See, that's good insight then. Right, so promise this is the last round of questions.
All right.
And hopefully a bit more fun than
Yeah.
less serious. Who's your favourite local influencer or blogger at the moment?
Favorite.
They have to be local now.
Like in Derry or in the north?
North.
Probably Sinead Haig.
Oh, really?
Aye.
I actually know her. I'm really impressed that I know her.
Do you?
No,
I just think she's well inspiring.
Aye, very good now.
And she's very motivational.
Yeah.
She's very motivating.
Very honest.
She is.
Yeah.
That's what's so good about her.
Yeah.
And she's another female business owner who
In a lot of different
just went for it, and she never looked back.
No. Well, she's in Bali now, isn't she?
Oh, aye.
Looks awful. Terrible. Favorite restaurant currently?
Favorite restaurant? That's a wild hard one, you know.
Really?
How can you pick? Derry food's unbelievable. Favorite restaurant?
Doesn't have to be for the food.
I think.
Generally, part of that, can be for the atmosphere and stuff like that as well.
The Exchange is pretty good.
Hard to beat the Exchange.
Hard to beat.
Hard to beat the Exchange. Like, that's what I mean. You can go and get fancy. Well, I'm not actually a big fan of fancy food, but you can go elsewhere. But the Exchange as an experience is hard to beat.
Do you know where I was actually going to say before that? Have you ever had a bow bun?
No.
It's not on Derry, it's in Belfast now.
Right.
But it's like a takeaway type of thing. But
Right.
it's like Taiwanese.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
I'll have to try that.
Try that.
I've never, because I've heard of them.
That doesn't sound fancy enough, that's why I didn't say it.
Listen, there's nothing fancy about podcasts, don't worry. If you could only keep one social media platform, which one would it be?
Instagram.
I thought you might say that.
I actually asked that
too easy.
on my Instagram. I asked that about a month ago, and everyone said Instagram. Well, not everyone, but that's the one that won.
That's the one that won. I can't see anybody saying Twitter or things like that. So anyway, summer or winter?
Summer.
Absolutely no. I don't even have to think about that.
Winter here, no. Winter somewhere else, aye.
Well, then it's cheating. So, gym, book, or film?
Gym.
Really?
Aye.
Okay, pretty good. I wish I had motivation. Next trip.
Next trip. I've Portugal booked.
Good.
Hopefully go somewhere else before that though.
All right. When's that?
June.
She's not that far away.
Good a few months yet.
If money was no object, what would your next purchase be?
A holiday to Dubai.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No cars, no houses, no.
Oh, I should probably buy a house, to be honest. I should probably buy a house, but I'd rather be young and enjoy the experiences first.
Exactly. Maybe that'll come later. And
Aye.
you can use your next one for that. Favorite film of all time?
Oh my God.
That's your last one.
Do you know what I think it'll have to be? Fury. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Brad Pitt's in it. It's about the war.
No.
It's really, really good.
Really?
It's brilliant. I really like war films, so anything to do with any type of war.
That's not okay. I wasn't expecting that, but there you go. Listen, Hayley, thank you very much for that. You've been absolutely excellent. So I really appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Thank you. It was brilliant.
Cheers.
Glad to be here. Bye.